So children, this is what a nucleus looks like from inside. You can see clearly the labelings in the diagram, and we'll be discussing each one of them separately. Namely, nuclear membrane, nuclear pore, nucleoplasm, and chromatin. Nucleus. First, we'll discuss the structure and composition of nucleus. It is surrounded by a doubled layer membrane known as nuclear membrane. Also, it contains liquid material called nucleoplasm. Thirdly, there are present long thread-like structures called chromosomes and a rounded structure called nucleolus. The fourth and the last point in the structure and composition of nucleus is that the nuclear membrane has pores in it, and this is to allow the exchange of materials. You must have clearly seen in the diagram also that I have drawn pores in the nuclear membrane. Next is the location of the nucleus. Nucleus is located in the center of an animal cell and is shifted towards one side in case of plant cells. This is due to the presence of a large vacuole in case of plant cell. We can refer back to the diagram of a plant cell and an animal cell also. You can see here in plant cell we have a large vacuole, and hence the nucleus is getting less space and is shifted towards one side. Whereas in case of animal cell, the nucleus is usually in the center of the cell. Let us now discuss the functions of nucleus in a cell. The main role of nucleus in a cell is to control all the functions of the cell, and hence it is also known as the brain of the cell or the control unit of the cell. Also, it carries chromosomes on which small hereditary units called genes are present. They help in transfer of characters from parents to the offsprings. Children, also note that genes are made up of DNA. Now children, here you have seen that we have been introduced to a few new terms like chromosomes, genes, DNA. Here you can see an image which shows the cell with a nucleus, and it also shows that the nucleus contains these thread-like structures called chromosomes. Also, it has been shown that these chromosomes are made up of these long helical structures called DNA, and particular strands of these DNA or sections you can say are known as genes. So I repeat, cell has a nucleus. The nucleus contains chromosomes which are made up of thread-like structures, and the chromosome in turn is made up of this double helical long structure that you can see on the screen, which I have named as DNA, and particular sections of this DNA are called as genes. These are carrying the genetic information in organisms. Also children, remember, you need not draw these diagrams which are on the screen right now. These are only being used here for your understanding purpose. This is just to show that what does a DNA look like, what does a chromosome look like, where are they actually present, etc. Depending on the type of nucleus, these cells are of two types. prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So you can see here that I have drawn the prokaryotic as well as the eukaryotic cell. And looking at the diagram, you can differentiate between the two as well. In case of prokaryotic cell, you can see that the nucleus is not well organized or it is not bound by a membrane. The nuclear material is simply scattered in the cell. Whereas in case of a eukaryotic cell, you will see that the nucleus is bound by a membrane and it is well organized. Also, in case of eukaryotic cell, you can see the presence of membrane bound organelles, which is not there in case of prokaryotic cells. So this is another difference that you will observe, that eukaryotic cells have membrane bound organelles and a well defined nucleus, whereas such membrane bound organelles are absent in case of prokaryotic cells. That is the ones in which nuclear material is not well bound by a membrane. So this was a simple diagrammatic differentiation between these two types of cells on the basis of different nucleus, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. We will now tabulate these differences for both these types of cells. The first difference, as we discussed, cells in which nucleus is not well defined, or you can say is not well organized. That is, the nucleus is without the nuclear membrane. Whereas in case of eukaryotic cell, the nucleus is well defined and well organized, and the nucleus is bound by a nuclear membrane. Secondly, in a prokaryotic cell, membrane bound organelles were absent. Whereas in case of eukaryotic cell, membrane bound organelles are present. The example for prokaryotic cell are bacteria, different types of bacteria, and eukaryotic cell are the animal and plant cells. The organisms that contain prokaryotic cells are known as prokaryotes, and the organisms which are made up of eukaryotic cells are known as eukaryotes. Now we are in a position to differentiate between these two types of organisms as well, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are the ones where the nucleus is not well organized, or you can say that the nucleus is without the nuclear membrane. On the other hand, eukaryotes are the ones which have well defined nucleus. That is, the nucleus is bound by a nuclear membrane. Secondly, prokaryotes do not contain any membrane bound organelles, whereas in eukaryotes, membrane bound organelles are present. The third point of difference, that prokaryotes are primitive and simpler due to the reasons that we just stated, and eukaryotes are comparatively complex. Examples of prokaryotes include bacteria, blue-green algae, which is also a type of bacteria. This is the microscopic view of blue-green algae, which is also known as cyanobacteria. And here is an image which shows blue-green algae over a lake. Looking at the image, you can clearly make out why is it given this name, since it appears of such a color. Remember, it's not an algae, otherwise it's a bacteria, but it looks like algae cover, so it is given that particular name.